Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hi. Fixing. Wait. There we go. So I'm gonna give everybody some time to come through. So let me just fix this a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. So we're just gonna give a little bit people some time to come through. Okay, sweet. Hello, so I'm just giving everybody some time to come through. I just posted it on the gram. I hope everybody has their tea together. Hey! I definitely, if you need to get some tea really quickly, get some tea because we are celebrating the fall equinox. So if you need to grab yourself a cup because I will be drinking tea while I do this live. So, yes. But hi everyone, I'm so excited. I hope everybody can see me. It's still hot. I literally just made it a couple minutes ago. Sorry for the delay. It was like a second. It took me a second to get it together. But I got it together. So we got lots to talk about. And I'm very excited. And we are also going to be doing a spell today because we are celebrating the fall equinox. So it's a very beautiful time. Very great time, harvest season. It's just a very beautiful, beautiful time. And I'm excited to kind of do this mini, well, pretty much this live with you guys. And we're going to be on for an hour. And we'll talk a little bit. I'll answer some questions if I can throughout it. But I do have some activities planned. So we're going to be doing some things. Okay? So yeah, so if you want to go grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of tea, you know, set yourself up for success. Especially because the moon's in Cancer right now. Any liquids that you can put in your body is very important for this time. So grab yourself a cup of tea and a notebook if you can, because you should be taking notes. Or like, you know, you're gonna be needing a notebook at one point. So grab a notebook, grab your journal, grab a tea, grab a notebook, grab a journal. And then you can always rewatch this later and then, you know, play it again and see all the good stuff. So we're gonna get started at 7:15. So 3 more minutes and then we're gonna get started on the live. But the reason why, I guess I'll start a little bit, but the reason why I wanted to do this live is just because I feel like it's like the perfect time to just start off doing lives, because I know that's something that I wanted to do on my channel anyway. And but I wanted to time it properly, and I was like, you know what, the fall equinox, it would just be like the perfect time. We're coming out of Virgo season, we're going into Libra season. It's different vibes. It's, you know, like that cardinal energy, like that push that I needed is what, you know, to you know, do the thing. So I was like, you know what, this is like the perfect time for me to do this live, so let me just put it together. So I'm really excited for everything we're gonna do. And yeah, we're also going to talk about the new moon in Libra that's coming up on Saturday a little bit, because it's definitely a very, very interesting moon, to say the least. A lot of planets in Libra at that time. So it's a very interesting moon. And yeah, there's just a lot of things slowly but surely, you know, happening. It's the best way I can put it. There's just a lot of things that are like moving, shifting, and it's kind of like a really big push right now. Like I see it, even though the chart is like, you know, there's still, the retrogrades are still alive and well. There's still like some movement happening, some shifts happening, even though there might be, you know, not in the, for some people, I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot of things right now. I mean, that's always the case regardless, but I feel like a lot of people are always going through something, and then they don't understand why. And then if you look at the chart, it's like all there, all mapped out. So it just really helps to kind of look at it. So yes, so I hope everybody got their tea. We're starting in exactly a minute. Hopefully I don't burn myself with this, because look, it's still steaming. Oh, it's 7:15. Okay, so we're starting. So thank you everybody for that came to this live. I'm really excited. And the first thing I feel like we need to collectively do, I'm so glad you're ready, because we're all ready. So the first thing I wanted to do collectively was actually pull some cards, specifically from the Oracle deck, because I wanted to just, first of all, channel the energy for everyone in this live, and just kind of have a collective message for all of us that are here, because I feel like we all need to hear something right now. I feel like that's where some people are at anyway. Like I just feel like some people just need to hear something. So we're gonna collectively pull some Oracle cards. Ooh. They almost flew out. Okay. So what does Spirit want us to know collectively tonight? Spirit wants to know collectively. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I'm going to just pull two more. Oh, and they jumped out. Okay, sweet. All right. So, bottom of the deck, good fortune and relief. So, always fun to get those two. To be relieved and to also have good fortune. I think I'll take it. So, we got a couple of cards that are very interesting, to say the least. And I'm going to show them to you guys. So, we got meditate. We got power. Then we got knowledge. And this collectively is really interesting, because when you look at, like, it was funny because while I was trying, you know, I was coming up with what we were going to do and all the activities, I was like, should I put in a meditation? Should I not put in a meditation? And I didn't know we were going to have too much time, because, you know, the length of everything. But this is interesting that this is the first card that came out, because I just felt like collectively some people really do need to meditate and really need to, like, just pause, relax. Like the moon's in Cancer is really about, like, if you looked at the chakra healing video for this week with the crown chakra space, it's just really about tapping into your emotions and like relaxing. Like you just really need a cleanse, a spiritual bath, like sit in the tub and just like just zen out. Like it's just a need to zen. So this is really interesting that meditate came out for this. Now the other two cards that came out were power and knowledge, and it's interesting because if you flip these over, and it'll just be like knowledge and power. That saying that goes, there's always knowledge in power. There's always power in knowledge, like the way that's said. That's what this reminded me of when this jumped out. So how do you get power from what you know? How do you use the knowledge that you have and like extract the power do you have from it? Like if you think about anything that you actually know, what you were taught in school, what you were taught in life, different lessons and things like that, how are you extracting the lesson, that central thing, the whole reason why you had to be taught this thing? How are you extracting it and looking the power of what that knowledge is? Because there's so many people that, if you look around, especially as the younger generation, and I know that makes some people feel old, so I'm sorry about that, but if you look at the younger generation and you actually just take a second to look at them, you're like, damn, they have not gone through the shit I've gone down to, you know, like they haven't had the issues that I've had through. They don't even know about this yet. Like they don't even know about how this can mess you up. Like there's so many things that collectively we can look at each other and say, wow, the fact that I know that makes it really important, and that importance is very powerful, because you knowing something versus not knowing something is very powerful. It can influence your behavior. It can influence how you act with others. It can influence your choices in business and relationships, and family situations. Like the fact that you know gives you a lot of power. And this is really interesting, because if this had jumped out while it was Scorpio season, I would have been like, yeah, trying to do some funny stuff, because you know Scorpios be using knowledge and their power to really do some stuff sometimes. Not that I don't love y'all, I know I love y'all, but the fact that this is in Libra season is very interesting, because this tells me that there's some of you guys that need to apply what you know, and you really need to sit on it and meditate with it. Like really sit on it and kind of follow the beat on your own drum, and really kind of bring yourself back. Say, okay, well, I know this, how I'm applying it. Like, for example, even the fact meditation itself, like how you meditate, what is the process that you meditate, do you do like guided meditations? Just all of those little crumbs is knowledge, and all of that is power, because you're able to then apply that to your mind and then transmute that into an action, into a behavior, into like a consistent something that you do all the time. So it makes it powerful, because then you're able to really create a better and more powerful you, because you're constantly adapting the knowledge that you have and making it into something, not just sitting on the knowledge that you have. So what exactly are you sitting on that actually is really powerful? What is it that it's like if you know something, or let's say you're just really creative and you're writing something, you're creating something, if you know what you know, why aren't you feeding your power into it either, like your willpower? Because we can talk about that as well when it comes to like solar plexus, and your ego, and what you will do and what you won't do. So what are you applying, and what are you not applying? Where are you lacking application in your life, based on what you know? Like if you went to school for something and then you would end up, this is like that classic case of going to school for something and then not end up being in that field. Why don't you want to do it anymore? Did you actually just have a whole switch around in your life? You ended up doing the wrong thing, like you chose the wrong thing, you chose it to choose it? Or do you really just still want to apply what you've been taught this whole time? And how can you take from what you learned and use it today? Because there's some times that you literally go to school just to take one class for that one teacher that said that one phrase that you needed to learn at that one moment, so it can help you get through a certain part of your life. Like it'd be that crazy. Like we'd be spending thousands of dollars just to connect in a moment of space in time, because that knowledge has power. That's the whole point. So some of you guys really need to meditate after this live. I would highly recommend it, just because I feel like there's something that you really need to kind of sort out mentally when it comes to your head. And even though Libra season, it's an air sign, so it's very airy, there's still, and I talked about this on the Patreon, for those who follow me on Patreon. about balancing and how that brings pleasure. We talked about it in the weekly Akashic Records message, and how balance equals to pleasure. That's like the whole point. When something is balanced in your life, you then are comfortable, you're relaxed, because it's not an issue. When something's not an issue, you can enjoy it. That's the whole point. You're not like stressed out about it. You're not like, oh my god, what am I gonna do, like how can I address. No, it's just like, okay, here's this tea, I'm gonna enjoy this tea. You know, like you can enjoy something after it's been balanced. That's the whole energy of Libra season, and that's what it's bringing. So how are you sorting out your power? How are you balancing that out, especially for what you actually know? How are you really moving from that? How are you, do you feel powerful not acting on what you know? It's kind of how you need to really sort it out with yourself. So for some people that might need to start businesses, or like start reading for other people, or like stuff like that. It's just like really like, hey, I know how to do this. I feel really comfortable doing it. I've been doing it for a while, but I haven't, you know, I studied for it. I did all the things that you need to do. I checked all the boxes, but what are you doing with it? You know, you really got to think about that. Like, what are you doing? What are you going to do? So yeah, I feel like a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on right now. And for the people that this is actually some sort of kind of catty situation, like there's some gossiping going on. Listen, Libra season is not shy from that type of energy. Just because Libras tend to be a little bit, they can be a little bit vicious when it comes to how they react to things. Mind you, October, well, September Libras tend to kind of take from like the Virgo energy, like even like the cuspiness. Oh, thank you. Even the cuspiness, they take from that energy. So it tends to be a little bit sharper. Like the words tend to come out sharper. Things are said a little bit in a way. And then once we get into October, like October Libras tend to be really, really nice. But then once you get into the Scorpio side, it's just tends to get a little sensual and stuff. But you want to make sure that you are thinking about how you speak to other people, how you're using what you know. Like this is can easily be somebody verbally kind of addressing somebody in a way that they shouldn't, based on some, like almost like even blackmailing somebody. Like, because you know, like if you push them to a certain place, they can actually, you know, get there. So be careful with how this energy is showing up in your life. But I do feel like some of y'all just really need to meditate. So that is the message from the deck. So the next thing that we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to sip this tea. Hold on. I had to make me a detox tea because I have not been eating as well as I should, but I'm getting back into it. So we're actually going to fix a candle today. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because, well, first of all, you're supposed to be giving thanks throughout the fall equinox. It's a really big time for gratitude and just being open to what you have, both negative and, you know, positive, like the things that are going on, how you will resolve them, stuff like that, and just really kind of connecting back to that energy. I take this time to really thank my ancestors and really just honor them. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So for this, you're going to need a white taper candle, and you're going to also need a stand to put it in. So this one's going to be tall. It's going to be like here. So yeah, so you're gonna need a white taper candle, but we're gonna fix this really quick before we start. So because this is just like you're offering it to spirit, there's only a couple of ingredients that I'm actually using for this. And so I'm gonna use the candle. I'm also gonna use some nutmeg and some cinnamon as well. And there is a reason why I'm doing this. So when it comes to doing ancestor work, I'm gonna use this as a wand. When it comes to doing ancestor work, you want to work with especially when you're working with herbs, and this is kind of really important to talk about right now. So especially when you're working with herbs, you want to work with herbs that they're familiar with as well. So in my family, we work a lot with spices, like cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. Like we have a lot of very like fresh herbs and stuff like that we work with, but we work a lot with spices. It's a very much added to our food, to our magic and stuff like that. We just use it quite often, and this is something that my grandmother specifically I would use all the time with her. So I just wanted to honor her in that way, because I know that that's something that she's already attracted to, that vibration of that specific herb, that spice. So you want to work with herbs that they're used to. So let's say, you know, your grandfather really loved, you know, I don't know, like pick an herb that they liked, I don't know, like peppermint or something. So use peppermint when you're doing work for the ancestors. Like use that, just add a little bit, just add that essence, because that's going to be that something. Because you know how you're supposed to customize your offerings too, because there's certain things that I give my ancestors that other people don't give their ancestors, and that's totally fine. But in life, while we're here, they really love that one thing that I'm giving them. So it's like you want to kind of add those things that they really enjoy, the vibrations of the things that they really enjoy, because they'll just really connect to the energy, to like what you're giving them. It's like, wow, look, I'm getting something that they know I love this. It's kind of like getting a gift that you always wanted. Like, let's say, and this is why I always say that Capricorns are like one of the best gift givers, because we literally will give you what you want. Like if you were like, man, I really want a PlayStation or something, we'll remember that come holiday season or your birthday, we'll literally give you a PlayStation. Why? Because you kept mentioning it. So it's not like we're not going to give you an Xbox. We're not going to give you like the Wii. No, you kept mentioning that. So I'm going to give you that because that's what you said. And this is like the thought that should go into it. You want to give somebody what they actually want, not like something similar or something. And yes, of course, you can always give them what you have. Like at the time, it's not like, oh, here, let me just, they loved all the like really expensive liquors and alcohol and all these things, but I don't have the money for it. Like, I totally understand. But if you can spoil them that way, definitely do, because it does change it's just like, hey, here's what you want. And you always, just as much as you want what you want to get what, hello to the Capricorn, you want to get, like, you want to gift someone what they want. It just all around makes everybody feels good, because you feel like you gave a great gift, and then, you know, they feel like, wow, I got what I wanted. It's kind of like when you do a spell and you're like, oh my god, can I get this amount of money, or can I get this amount of whatever. Boom, you got what you wanted. It just feels good when you get what you want. That's what you want to manifest, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use the white taper candle and cinnamon and nutmeg. We're going to keep it real simple. Real simple. Okay? I'm just using two that I know that they really like. And they're in powder form, so they're easy to just like on this and let it rock. So I'm going to be using my Ancestor oil that I make. It's in my shop if you want to check it out. And they come in like 2 different sizes. Then I'm just going to put some on my hands, kind of a good amount, because the candle's pretty long, so you want to make sure you coat it properly. Just rub it, just heat it up, and then you're going to go up. And while you're doing this, you're thinking about your ancestors. So you're saying, thank you so much for helping me, for guiding me, for everything you do, for really caring about me, for making me feel your presence in my life, for granting me all these wishes that I've asked you for giving me protection when I needed it, because that's a big one, for helping me get into doors that maybe I wouldn't have gotten into before. You want to make sure you're speaking to them and really remembering what it is that they've done to you, and what they've done for you as well. How they helped you, how they helped your cousin, your sister, whatever, your brother. You want to think about the whole family with this, because this is something that they don't always just help you, they help them as well. And it definitely can be very indirect, but it's important to just thank them for the collective of your family as well. So you're thinking about that. One thing I've just been doing a lot is just going up and down with it and just rolling it in my hands. And the reason I do this is because it just heats up the candle with intention. And if you kind of hold a candle afterwards, you kind of feel it. If you just focus and you close your eyes and you're just like, thank you so much, and you're just speaking to the candle. Oh, almost ran out of my hand. You're just heating it up with your intention, with the energy. Okay. And then I'm just going to take some of that cinnamon. Hold on. Okay. And then we're just going to coat it on the top. Definitely use a paper towel underneath this, or you're going to make a hot mess. Okay. Did I just run out of cinnamon? Oh my god, guys. This is gonna be in my empties. I just ran out of cinnamon. But it's okay. I got a good amount coated. We're just gonna use a nutmeg. Well, I have more cinnamon, but I'm just saying I just almost ran out of cinnamon. That's like a no-no. Okay. So I didn't want to carve this one because honestly it's kind of unnecessary to carve this one. It's just like an offertory candle. I'm just going to put it inside. Nice and snug. Yeah, so it's like an offertory candle, so you don't need to. You also, like for offertory candles, you don't really need to use herbs and stuff like that either. I just like to be extra because, you know, I be extra like that. No, seriously, this is going to be my empties. I'm just letting y'all know it's coming. The video is coming. And obviously before you like before you even put anything on the candle, make sure you cleanse it. I had already cleansed it with Florida water beforehand, like I always do. I double cleanse my candles, Florida water, sage, or Palo Santo, or incense smoke, whichever one. I always double cleanse. So then you're just gonna light it. Sweet. And then we're just gonna watch that throughout the live. So it's gonna be in that corner right there. Just gonna move this back. Oh, I'll be right here so you guys can see it. Okay. Sweet. So that's the candle, and you can definitely do one of these whenever you're really called to, or whenever your spirit is really called to do it. I like to do offertory candles at least once a month to my ancestors, just because I feel like it's important to just thank them. And I kind of saved this one specifically for this time, because as you work with them and you know you always asking them for stuff, I ask them for protection more than almost anything. I always ask for protection for me, my family, my sister, everybody in the club. So, I always say that. I always be like shuffling, like, okay, the ancestors, spirit guides, and everybody, and then I'm like, everybody in the club. Just because I'm extra. I'm joking, but just because I'm extra. And it just helps when you do a thank you like every month. It's just kind of like, hey, just checking in, thank you for what you've been doing for protecting me and stuff. I do a lot of protection work with them. Mainly that's kind of what I've been working with them for, because there's just been a lot of stuff going on, and I've talked about this in some of the other videos. If you guys noticed, there's been a lot this whole year. I've had to do so much protection work, so it's been kind of a little bit like, I don't want to say overwhelming, because I haven't felt overwhelmed, but I've had to kind of deal with it from the spiritual realm. So it's just been like a constant, I have to come back to it type of thing. Like, it's like, okay, look, this is happening, okay, here. And then sometimes I'll see how, because I was protected, I missed a dodge bullet situation, and that's been coming up a lot. So it's just been a very interesting year. I want to say a very interesting year. And I always think about like my birthday celebration, when we went to the yurt, and like we were pretty much in a cabin, and I got that blessing from the Native American spirits in the land, on the land, and that still, like, I feel like has that shield has been on me all year as well. So I just feel really blessed. I've been feeling really blessed for a while. But I'm very grateful, obviously, very, very grateful. Okay, now the other thing that I'm gonna let you guys know that you should be doing under this fall equinox is basically, especially because it's an air sign season, you want to make sure that you're writing stuff down, and that you're really focusing on your manifestations in the way of anything that has to do with your throat chakra. That also means writing. So this is my current journal that I have. Like, this is my manifestation journal. And my sister gave it to me last year for Christmas, which is why it's Jack Skeleton. I love it. I'm like in love with it. And it's so funny because my girlfriend loves Nightmare Before Christmas, so she like loves this. She wanted to steal it from me actually when we started dating. But yeah, so I've been like writing different goals and different things in here, and just manifesting per month. And this kind of something in a habit that you should probably fall into, especially during air sign seasons. It calls for an extra of verbal communication, an extra of mental stimulation. Like, you just need to kind of sort this out here, and the way it really helps me is to write stuff down. Especially as a Gemini moon, because I have like 18 journals. You don't even know, like, they're all over the place. But when I definitely need to write stuff down, I do it. And that's something I would say also to work on for the Libra new moon. You should be writing stuff down. Lots and lots of air magic. But for this, what I recommend you doing for the fall equinox, first of all, I recommend you write down, and I know there's people that have mentioned this before in different places, but everything that you are grateful for, like a list, like pick 10 things, pick 5 things, pick things that you are actually grateful for, that you're just like, you're looking at your life and you're like, man, you know what, if I didn't have this, I would be in this place. If I didn't have that, I would just not be the same. Like, I'm so grateful that I have this in my life. It's very, very important for you to do that, because this is a very kind of balancing the dark and light energy at this time. So you want to really, even though maybe you're still going through something, look at your life and be grateful for what you have, because it's important for you to kind of connect with the energy of being better, of what it is that you have, what you want to keep, what you've manifested into your life from the past that now is solidified in your life, that you just love and appreciate. So you want to be grateful and you want to write that down. Then the next list that you're going to write down is things and goals that you want, and you're going to want to do this for October. And this is the way I work with it with my journal. When I do monthly manifestations, I write down a list of things in my journal that I would like to accomplish, but I write it as if it's already happened. So I write a list of things, and then I keep it. I don't like to overwhelm myself and be like, I'm gonna have $1 million by the end of the month, you know, like stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to do all that. It's just basically things that I would really, really love to see by the end of the month. And when I go back to it and I'm checking off, I go back and then I'm like checking off different things here. I can say, okay, what have I done? What have I not done? It's funny because for my September goals, one of my goals was to have 1,700 subscribers, and I'm about to reach 1,800 subscribers, which I'm really excited about. And thank you to all of my new subscribers. I'm very grateful for all of you. But I can definitely cross that out the list because I know that it's already been done. And it's just something that you want to pick, like maybe 5 things, like keep it simple, maybe 4 things that you really would like to see your future self have, but write it in the current, like the current time. And then when you're doing your spell work for the rest of October, that's really what you want to reference moving forward, because then you can kind of see, okay, what did I write this? Why did I write this? I know why I wrote this. I really really want this to call this in to my space right now. I really need to. So then you can really focus your intention on that, and because you're mentally stimulating that, like that which you've written down and that you're trying to do something about it, like using that cardinal energy in action, then you can actually actively manifest something smoothly. Like you won't have any like, okay, but what about this? But what about that? No, you wrote down what it is that you like want to have, and that's what you're working towards right now, period. So it's going to be a really powerful time during this Libra new moon because it's a new moon. So you're going to see how everything differs by the time of the full moon. So how everything just accumulates. So this is a really good time to work on anything that has to do with balance, any negativity that needs to be taken out, any partnership issues as well. This Libra new moon is going to be very powerful to call in like divine soulmates, soulmates that you need to heal some karma with, because Libra is also a very karmic sign. You can call it, like there's so many things that you can call in, like, but it has to do with pleasure. Like let's say you want a raise at your job or something like that, or in the realm of that, like maybe you're looking for a new job or something like that. You want to really call in something that's going to balance you out, something that it's not going to disturb too much of your peace, but that's giving you a fair wage as well. Like you want to think about it through the filter of like that Libra lens. Like, is this going to be fair to me? Is this something that will be good for my spirit, that's good for my journey? Is this something that I have to take partnership with? Because partnership is also ruled by Libra. So you want to think about all of those things together, combined, and then really focus your intention on that for the rest of the season. So this is what I would say for you to do. Sometime after this live, after you meditate, talking about partnership, I like flattened out one of the roses that my girlfriend gave me from the first bouquet she ever gave me, and I flattened it out, and look, it's so cute, but it's so flat. And I had put it in here, so I just found it again. Yeah, so that's another thing that I would suggest you doing after you get off the live. Grab a journal. If you don't journal, you should be journaling. Journaling in kind of like a grimoire way, not in a everyday, unless that's something that you like to do, because I know there's people that like to journal every single day. I used to do that when I was younger, and then I found myself very kind of annoyed, because I would end up, it would turn into poetry, that's one. And then I would kind of hate writing about what was going on in my day all the time. My creativity would just come in, and I would just start making stuff up and like changing what I would want my day to be like and stuff like that. So I was just doing manifestation work when I was little, but I got bored of saying, for a time, like I remember in English class they would say, hey, you know, for next week you have to write what you did every day. I'm just like, but it's kind of a little bit boring. I want to write about something else. So that's what I did. I read a lot and I wrote a lot. So I'm bringing the computer back in because we're going to go over, we're next going to go over the new moon in Libra chart, because I did want to talk to you guys about it. And okay, hold on. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the new moon in Libra that's coming up on Saturday. And this new moon is going to be interesting because there's so many things conjuncting each other, because there's 4 planets that are going to be in Libra. The Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Venus. And it's a very beautiful time to really sort through stuff out. The fact that Venus is a Libra is such a beautiful thing, because obviously Venus rules Libra. So really great time to like do a lot of self-love, self-pleasure work, call in your partner, like perfect time to do 7th house magic, perfect time to call in like your soulmate, your twin flame, like stuff, like doing a lot of that work. It's just it's like a really good time to even call like a husband in. Like, let's say you want to get married, you want to have kids, you can call that in on Saturday. Like, it's gonna be a good time for you to do that kind of work. Now, you do want to kind of look at what your chart looks like and where it's falling and what house is falling for you. If you work with astrology, that is my biggest recommendation, because let's say your Libra, the actual like your Libra sign in your houses actually falls in your second house for you, then you want to maybe like try a partnership with someone. Like second house is about, you know, what you own, what you have, what you value, money. So what if you want to start your own kind of side hustle with a friend, like to have a partnership, come collectively, brainstorm on an idea that's going to bring both of you guys more money, stuff like that. Like you want to make sure you're using the energy of your house properly. It's really great energy for a business partner with that specific placement. So think about it in that way. Like go through what like where is actually going to hit, and then do your spell work dictated by that, because then you're actually going to be able to do a lot of powerful magic. So with the sun conjuncting the moon, you have literally the sun and the moon just in total harmony. It's a very beautiful, beautiful thing when the sun and the moon are like just, hey, my ego is good, your emotions are good, we're in the same page. It's like being in the same page. Hey, yeah, so it's just about being in the same page and being like when it's conjuncted, it just, you feel very mirrored. Like the energy, you're like, your ego feels mirrored to your emotions. Like you're able to see yourself for what you really are, like energy. And it's just a very beautiful placement for newness, because you're, when sometimes what happens a lot of the time is that sometimes our emotion go against like our will. Like let's say we want to do something, but if we do it, then it goes against something else. Like it's just like a conflict, and that's usually what happens when they're opposing each other. But because they're conjuncting, it's just like harmony. It's just like, oh, go wherever you go, I'm there with you. It's just a harmony of the sun and the moon. So it's just like a dance. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the fact that it's conjuncting, you can just easily just be expressive and like feel like you're aligned with your ego and your emotions. Like you're just able to communicate that freely during this new moon in Libra. So it's just a very, very beautiful placement. The next conjunction is the sun in Mars, which is also a very beautiful placement, but be a little bit careful with this. Yes, and happy birthday to everybody who's their birthday month, both this month and also October, because it's coming up. But with the sun conjuncting Mars, this is kind of like putting your ego on blast a little bit, because it's like, you know, sun is your willpower, Mars is your action, it's how you move, it's like, how are we going to war? We are going to war, we chose to go to war, but how are we doing that? Like it's a very like reactive planet. So when you have the sun and the moon conjuncting, it's kind of like, okay, you feel like doing something, you feel like changing something, you feel like a shift, you feel like all of these things, like you want to see a change, you want to see something new come about, and then you're just kind of like making it happen. Like it's a equal kind of reflection from what you want to doing it, to actually seeing it. So it's a beautiful conjunction to really manifesting quickly for Saturday. Now the one of the other ones that I wanted to talk about was the sun squaring Saturn, and this one is a very interesting placement because y'all know Saturn is in Capricorn right now. And this kind of makes it so you can react, but Saturn will also kind of hold your ankles a little bit. So if you try to run too quickly, you might have to just slow down a little bit, because Saturn also still wants you to kind of be like, remember everything else, like be aware of what's going on in the background, like where you've planted yourself at. Like, okay, you can't just completely run, but you can set the intention to leave soon or eventually, or like in a couple months or in a month or so, like something like that, but not up and then you're out like that. And just energy, it doesn't work well for kind of like flight or I can't say it right, but the flight or flight concept. It doesn't work well for that, because Saturn wants you to be stable. He wants you to still, have most of your ducks in a row, and at least working towards the other ducks being in a row. So you want to make sure that you're in a place where you're not, or you're allowing your ego to kind of get checked. Like, if you need to pause and like reflect and say, okay, you know what, I can't do this right now, but I definitely am going to look for, this is going to be my goal, this is what I'm going to be working towards. Do that, because then you're not going to face the repercussions of acting too swiftly. Now, the moon is also conjuncting Mars, which is another very beautiful placement. So it's not only going to be the sun and your willpower, you're emotionally going to be kind of pushing. You're like pushing for change. It's kind of like, no, this is what I want. This is a shift. This is something that I need to see change in my life. Like I want this to be different. Like I'm not playing around anymore. Like there's kind of like this push, this emotional push, this ego being pushed. You just have to be careful, because it's definitely Saturn that's it's just, and this is why I said that by this chart being beautiful, but it does have its little like, you know, like little things, these little twings that you need to work with. So keep in mind what it is that, you know, kind of like your boundaries. Like keep in mind your boundaries. Keep in mind what you can and cannot do at this time. Keep in mind what you want to achieve. How, think about the time at the end of the day, because even justice takes time. Okay. Even though we're in an air sign, and air signs are the quickest in the zodiac, and they're the quickest in tarot, they're just the quickest, like quick manifestations, very, very, very quick. Because even when you think about it, words are very quick. They're coming out of my mouth really, really, really fast. Really fast. Like I'm thinking it and it's coming out. That's how fast air sign magic can work. So you want to kind of just be careful of what you say and what you're grounding yourself into at the end of the day, and not to be too flighty, because that's also the thing that happens with the air signs, the flightiness. And there's still quite enough earth in the chart to kind of balance that out. So that's where you're going to find kind of like pushback, like astrological pushback. If you try to run too quickly, you'll trip. Okay. So the next one that I wanted to talk about is Mercury conjuncting Venus, and this is very beautiful because you're able to really mentally paint a picture and communicate with your partner, with people, with in different situations in ways that will bring a lot of balance and a lot of healing, depending on who you're talking to and what it is that is being said. So really pay attention to, on that day, what you're saying, how you're reacting, how your thoughts are kind of moving, why you're saying certain things. Like think about those, the kind of the root of all of those things, because you want to you really want to work with the best of the energy versus you kind of struggling with it. Even though Venus energy is not hard to work with, like Libra season is not a bad season. Like nobody, I've never heard everybody complain of, oh my god, it's Libra season, we're all dying. No, that usually happens. A lot of people complain in Pisces season, a lot of people complain in Scorpio season, a lot of people complain in Capricorn season, because a lot of people get depressed during Capricorn season. There's just some seasons that are harder than others. Like Aquarius season gets a little weird. You just, at some point you're just like, I don't know what's going on. So there's some seasons that are easier to work with than others. Like Cancer season is a very heavy emotional season. So you want to make sure that you don't make it more harder than it needs to be, because Libra season don't need to be a struggle. We don't need to make it into a struggle. So mentally, don't put yourself through hoops that you do not need to jump over, because it's gonna mess up your pleasure. And because it's conjuncting, that means that your mind is really going to help you with your pleasure on Saturday. So for example, like if you're having like positive thoughts, and like definitely practice self-care. So if you have an idea, you wake up on Saturday, you're like, oh my god, I really I just want to go to the spa. I just want to go to the spa. I want to take myself to the spa. That's just how I feel. Then go to the spa. Like take yourself out, whatever. Like let's say you just really want dinner from this one place that is just, it happens to be really expensive, it's really bougie, but it's you know, it's somewhere you wanted to, you just want to treat yourself. Go and do that. Like, your mind is telling you how to pleasure yourself. And that's something that you want to look at, because that's what Venus wants. It just wants to thrive through pleasure, wants you to enjoy every inch of your life. So with this conjunction, just think about how you're bringing in the balance through your mind, through your thoughts, and then acting on those. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about Mercury squaring Pluto on Saturday. And this aspect is very interesting, because for some people, again, it's going to bring the energy of balance and justice, and karmic justice, karmic law, divine law, partnerships. When Pluto is in the mix, we're talking about death work. We're talking about the occult, the darker parts of astrology, the taboo, anything that's really kind of a little bit denser. The unconscious mind, like, it's a very deep planet. And then when you're conjuncting with Mercury, you're getting really a lot of downloads about things that you need to, like, release. Like, it's the rebirth planet. It's transformation. It gotta go. You need to move on. Like, there's just a lot of mental things happening. So pay attention to your thoughts, because I've said this a couple times. Pay attention to your thoughts on Saturday. Because, like, let's say you wake up or you have a dream and it was from your ex or whatever that you just for some reason keep thinking about for the past couple weeks, but keeps happening randomly. You really want to pay attention to that kind of thing coming up, because what you need to ask yourself when that happens is, okay, is this helping me? Is this hindering me? Is this making me feel better? What can I do about this? Has this been going on for a while? Like, I do this to myself. I be asking myself questions in order for me to heal from something. I really just start being like, okay, why did I feel that way? Why am I dreaming about this person? And then if you need to do a meditation, ask for assistance, ask for spiritual assistance. Say, you know, hey, can I get an answer as to why this is coming up? Why this is showing up for me? Like, I don't get why it's coming up for me. Just doing a little bit of that extra step and trying to really sort out why it's coming up, because this is going to be like mental dead weight. So that's going to be the darker part that needs to be released, because you need to be in balance. So whatever is in balance for you on Saturday, you're going to have to address and release. And if you're, you know, you've been Gucci and you're just trying to get more stuff in at this point, then address what you don't have, because that's going to be like the scale that's not quite balanced. So you really want to pay attention to your mental activity and how you're addressing other people, partnerships. Be careful about manipulating others as well. With Pluto energy, there's always like a good amount of manipulation happening, because that's that Scorpio energy. Like, if you piss the Libra off anywhere near this week and you try it, they might just do the most. So really focus on moving through the highest of vibration. If you know that you need to release something, release it. For some people, you might actually need to do some death work, release like an old partner or old lover. Some people might need to do some Akashic records, healing like some past lives. I do recommend that as well, and I also have that service on my website if you need assistance with that. But there is something about healing something through the mind and transforming something through the mind and through your communication, your thoughts. So that's kind of like the only main negative parts of the chart for Saturday is that the Saturn presence and that Mercury squaring Pluto, because you're going to have this kind of tug where you might have not wanted to have these kind of tugs. And you might feel like really great, but then you have moments in the day that just kind of feel a little bit low for no reason, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, I'm like in a funk, stuff like that. Like, you want to pay attention to how you're feeling and then manifesting from that, because again, air spells are very quick. You can be reactive or you can be active. Like, pick your poison. So that is going to be the chart for the new moon Libra. and that's going to be fun. If you follow me on Patreon, there's going to be a ritual posted for that specific moon coming up this week. It's going to be posted, which I'm really excited about. Ooh, let me just move this a little bit. Which I'm really excited about because I'm going to be doing it as well. I always do all the rituals that I post. So that's one of the things that I do on my Patreon as well. I post different rituals for different moons, based on what I'm really called to really do it. But I've been pretty consistent with it. So I will be sharing the one for Libra. It's going to be very interesting. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen for the new moon in Libra. So since we have a couple of minutes left, we have like 5 minutes left, I definitely can take, I'm just putting some Florida water in my hands, but I can take some questions from everybody if you guys want me to answer some stuff, because I know I get a lot of DMs and I get a lot of like different questions, and then I never get to, sometimes I don't get to go through them because I get so many. So I've been trying to find a way to respond to some of the questions that I get. So if anybody has anything that they want to ask me about or curious about, let me know. I need to go through the chat actually, so let me do that real quick, just to see if you guys said anything. Hold on, I'm a-coming. Okay. Oh, you wanted the cards. So for the Sacred Symbols deck, I think Marcella is still selling them on her Etsy. Are you sure she's not selling them right now? I thought she was selling them. Hold on, I'm actually gonna check Instagram. I'm pretty sure she's still selling, unless she's sold out, because she be doing her thing. Marcella. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna check. But I'm pretty sure she was selling them. The last time I checked, she had them. Oh, she's taking a short break. Okay. Okay, so she's still away. I mean, I'm sure she's doing a reprint. She was super sweet and she sent one to me. Let me see if I can actually see if they have it somewhere else. So if you go to Everyday Magic, shop Everyday Magic, because she has that link on her Etsy for the person who said that they that she's not selling them right now. They're selling it through there on shopeverydaymagic.com. If you want to check it out there, they're selling it there. I just checked, and yeah, they have the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck there, so you can purchase it there if you want to. It was really sweet of her to send me a deck. I was really excited. Yeah, because I was like, wait, no, she's definitely still has it. So yeah, if you want this deck, you can go and shop Everyday Magic. They're still selling it, so definitely check it out there. Okay, so let me see. Thank you for the person who said my hair is cute. I love my hair. It's a whole situation. It's a lot. I'm gonna be braiding it soon because I've been wanting to braid it for a hot minute, but I've kept putting it off because I hadn't had time. But I'm gonna be braiding it soon. I know Bae's been dying for me to braid it because she wants to play with it. Okay. Oh, for the person that snapped at her friends, send them some love. Yeah, I've been feeling like that lately. No tea, no shade. Some people need to get snapped on sometimes, so listen. Shout out to the Capricorn. I have a lot of Libras in here. That's crazy. Oh, my Libra gang. My Libra gang is real. Okay. How to get started to heal past life emotional stuff. Okay, so past life emotional stuff. So past life stuff needs pretty much So I guess I'll tell you guys the story of how some of my past lives came up for me before I actually went into the records to heal them. So for me, when I was like all throughout my life, I'll tell you guys this specific story. So all throughout my life, I have had this intense connection with Egypt, um, and I've always known that it's just been so present in my life. Like, you have no idea. I've always been connected to the land. I've always been connected to everything that has to do with it. Like, there's always something that just calls me there, right? And I was always curious as to why. So there was a point where I got a reading done, like a past life reading, from the Akashic Records, by someone who he's amazing. He actually also reads past lives. His name is Hoye. If you want to check him out on Instagram, and his website is hoyelove.com, unless he changed it. But he was the one who actually taught me how to read the Akashic Records. But before that, I actually opened the Akashic Records by myself, and saw the past life that referenced the Egyptian part. And actually, in this lifetime, I'm also part Egyptian. It came up in my ancestry, but it came up in the past life, and it came up in a sound healing for me. So I happened to do one of my friends, she's amazing. Her name is Celestine Healing Co on Instagram. Her name is Vanessa. She's super sweet, and she did a sound healing for me, and it was just like amazing. Like, my body was just like vibrating all over the place, and she did a sound healing for me. And this was before I had opened the records, like, I guess you could say, like, professionally, like, properly, like, like the way you're supposed to do with the A and the Q and the T, like all these things. Like, so I was having a sound healing, and all of a sudden I just kept getting flashes and seeing myself in different lifetimes, and I was just like, wait. And it went through my Egyptian lifetime. Like, I saw myself, I saw what I looked like, I saw me talking to other people, I saw me teaching, I saw me like doing some spells. Like, I was doing a lot of stuff, and I was like, what's going on? And I knew it had something to do with that, but I wanted more clarity on it. So I ended up getting a reading by Hoye, and I asked him, I was like, what is my connection to Egypt? Because it's just been like, it's been a thing. And then he opens my records for that lifetime, and he's like, oh, well, you were a high priestess. You used to teach the mysteries. You were very well connected. You're a very powerful person. And I was a Virgo in this life. Like, he just went through the things. Like, I was, like, wow. And as he was describing what happened in that lifetime, I was like, I saw this in that in that sound healing, while I was meditating through the sound healing, and I saw all of it, and it was just like confirmation for me. And so I ended up doing healing in that lifetime, because I actually kind of created some trauma for myself in that lifetime. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you guys what it was. It didn't have anything to do with, like, on a spiritual level. I was fine on a spiritual level, but I wounded my Venus, which is something that you can do. So let's say in one of your past lives, you didn't speak up or say, like, what you needed to say in this past life. You just wounded your Mercury. So you're gonna, like, maybe in this lifetime, you have a lot of energy focused up in your third house, or even like a lot of Mercury placements that are just hitting one specific house, because you need to speak, like, you need to heal your throat chakra, like, heal that space, because you didn't speak in that lifetime for whatever reason. So it'd be like that. So for me, I messed up my Venus energy, which is what I'm healing in this lifetime. This is what's coming up for me in this lifetime. And so I've worked on it. That's what I'm gonna say. But while you do the reading, so this is something that I do as well, because he taught me to do this, but we basically guide the person through a meditation. So he guides me through a meditation into my heart chakra, and then I go in and I heal myself through my heart space, because this is where your past lives get locked up. And once you get a reading, you end up feeling a lot lighter, especially in your chest, because your chest is holding so much. And you have to think about it this way, because your chest is like where that love energy is like stored. Like you have all your sexual energy down there, but your love energy is here. So anything that blocked your pleasure and your love and your essence and that kind of light is just manifest from here. So this is why a lot of people have like different types of issues that come out of nowhere, like your relationship with your father, your relationship with other people, like different soulmates, different things, like money as well, because like wealth, like stuff like that gets blocked up here. Like those type of struggles, it's here. So it needs to get cleared up here. So the way that past life readings works, you can do it, like there's ways to, you know, do it without getting an Akashic Records reading. But the issue with that is that you won't understand the information completely. Because even when I saw it in the sound healing, I was like, okay, I'm seeing all this stuff, but why is this still like my question was is why is this lifetime so, like, why is Egypt so important to me? Like what is it about it that has such a presence in this lifetime for me? And I got my answer. Like he told me why. He's like, well, you wounded your Venus, you were a really powerful person, you did all this stuff, but you wounded your Venus and you did it in this way, blah blah blah, and this is what happened because you wounded your Venus or whatever. So it was just like, okay, now I get it. And then you go in, you heal yourself in that lifetime, and then you're able to like not only take the abilities that you have had from the lifetime, but then you also are able to heal the lifetime from ever affecting you again. So you can then use that, and then later on, if you want to do some more work in that lifetime, you can do like some time traveling and stuff like that. That's a little bit more advanced though, but you can do it. But that's kind of how you heal a lot of past life stuff. I definitely recommend getting a past life reading. It always helps. It always answers a lot of questions. I go up there sometimes and just start asking questions and like seeing why things are happening, and then I'm really able to really heal a lot of different things that are coming out from nowhere. So I definitely recommend getting a past life reading. I definitely offer those. There's a couple people that offer them as well. One of my other friends, Tatiana, and some of you guys might have heard of her. She's huge in tarot on the gram. Her name is Tatiana Tarot, Tatiana Morales. She also does past life readings. We both got taught by the same teacher. Really amazing. But yeah, definitely get a past life reading is what I would say for that answer, because everybody just needs to do a lot of past life work. Trust me. It doesn't just stop for anybody. Everybody needs to do it. So that's what I would recommend. Now, somebody said, I love your Dollar Tree witchy hauls. I said Dollar Tree has the best supplies. Yes. It does. I'm going to be doing a Dollar Tree haul video soon, because I have to go, I want to say possibly maybe this week. Possibly. We're going to see, because I left my key in my girlfriend's house. So yeah, I got to find a way to lock the door. But definitely this week I'm going to try to do it. But there's another one coming for sure, because I have to do an exclusive Halloween Dollar Tree almost like haul from everything that I want to get. And then I want to get a couple of other stuff that I saw that I was just like nerding out about. So I'm really excited. How is your day, your fall day? I'm not sure what you meant. You meant like today? How was my day today? It was kind of all over the place, to be honest. Like, I was okay. I was working. I was doing a thing. Had to react to stuff. Oh my god, guys. Today, there was a dog. My girlfriend was driving me home. But we were still in Jersey. And there was this dog that just came into the street out of, like, nowhere. Ran from the other top of the hill. You just saw this little dog just running. And I was in the car. My girlfriend was about to start driving. I was like, babe, wait, stop. Because there was a car that was coming in the way of the dog. And I was like, oh my god, it's about to get hit. Oh my god. I got so freaked out. And I was like, oh my god, babe, stop the car. Stop. And then she saw it and she was like, oh my god, get out. Go run and catch it. But it was like a Speedy Gonzalez. And it was crazy because the dog ended up, it's actually blind on one eye. Like, it's really blind. So I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this dog. So we were like, it like ran back up the hill. I was trying to grab it. She had to do a U-turn on the street. Like, there was people around just standing there. I'm like, do you not see us trying to get this dog? Like, we're trying to make sure it doesn't die out here by a car. It almost did, because some lady was like on the phone and driving, didn't see it, and I was just like, oh my god, please don't be dead. And then it just ran. We ended up catching it. It was super scared. It was a boy, super scared. He was just so scared. He ended up, my girlfriend was trying to pick him up, and he like pooped. So he was super scared. Luckily, there was like a police station like on that same block, so we took him to the police station. Was like, hey, you know, this dog just ran away. It had a leash. It was clean. Like it wasn't like a stray dog. It had a leash, but the owner was nowhere to be found. Like, we were the only ones running around trying to like catch the dog, and it was just like a hot mess. And people were just like, oh, is that your dog? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to not let it get killed. I don't want that on my consciousness. So we took it to the police department, and hopefully the owner gets contacted and found very soon. So that was pretty much, you see what I mean? I did some food shopping. It was just like, it was a little bit of a hot mess of a day, but we made it work. Basically, we made it work. Okay. Having a moon in Libra actually does count. Yeah, that's what, like, my girlfriend gets mad at me all the time, because I'd be like, every time she mentions something Gemini-y, I'd be like, yeah, I totally relate to that, because I have a Gemini moon. She's like, but you're not a Gemini. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm a Capricorn, but I still connect to the energy and the vibration of Gemini. But she swears up and down that I'm not a Gemini. Okay. She's like not as well versed in astrology, so don't beat her up on that. Oh, I'm sorry that you were late, but it will still be up for replay. Like, the whole live will be up for replay, so you guys can go back and watch it. So sorry for those who are a little bit late. Yeah, I said Eastern Standard Time because I'm in New York. But yeah, so I hope you everybody enjoyed the chat. I'm definitely gonna log off now, but it was lovely getting to connect with you today, and hopefully we get to do one of these soon, or like again. We're gonna be starting the monthly lives on the Patreon that are just gonna be exclusive for the patrons soon. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, definitely check out my Patreon, because we just do a lot of fun stuff over there. And I'm gonna be posting one of the classes again this week. Also, just a quick update, because I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon that I needed for like the setup in the studio and everything. Yeah, there's gonna be like a new setup for, you know, in the next video you might see it, because the shipment was supposed to come in today, but it didn't, so it should be here tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm really excited to, you know, kind of change up the vibes over here, so it's gonna look a little bit different the next video, hopefully. And yeah, and I will see you guys in the next video that I post, but definitely check out my Patreon. It's gonna be, we're still growing over there. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. It's been fun. And I'll try to do another one soon. Let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll do these like a little bit, like, I know I'll have one for the patrons, but I can definitely do one for you guys as well. All right, to the ancestors. All right. So I will see you guys next time. For those who are just like watching, don't forget to subscribe. Bye. Oh, how do I turn this off? There it is. Bye, guys.